Okay guys, welcome to our new topic, which is place value, hundredths and beyond. Okay, now you've probably seen a place value chart like this before, where we have our tens of thousands, our hundreds, our tens, our units. But on this side, like it's a mirror here, we have our tenths, our hundredths, our thousandths, and our tens of thousandths. Okay, so it's a little bit different. So I'm going to show you how numbers fit into this chart and what value they have when they get there. So just like with our fractions, we're going to be given whole numbers as well as part of numbers. So instead of using it in fraction form, now we're going to be looking at it in decimal form. So as you see, there's a little dot here. It looks like a full stop, but it's going to be called a decimal place. And this is very important. You're going to see why in just a moment. I'm going to start putting some numbers in some columns on our place value chart. So I'm going to put a 6 in the tens column. I'm going to put a 4 in the hundreds column. I'm going to put a 9 in the units column. I'm going to put an 8 in the tenths column. And I'm going to put a 5 in the hundredths column. Okay, now we've got a number that reads 469.85, and that's what we say. We don't say full stop 85, we say 0.85, and there are 85 hundredths in here, and out of a maximum of 100. And if there was 100 in here, it would increase this number by 1. Now, I'll show you why it's important to have this decimal place in the right spot. Because if you took it away, a number becomes 46,985. And it just isn't right. So we put our decimal place where it's meant to go. And it shows that we have 469 whole numbers. And we're along the way to get in 470. We're not quite there yet. We've got 85 hundredths. You'll now get to some questions which ask you for stuff like this. Which digit is in the hundredths place in this number? Which digit is in the thousandths place in this number? Now when we look back to our graph, over here, it goes tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and tens of thousandths. So we go back, and we go tenths, hundredths, thousandths, tens of thousands. So it's asking for the hundredths, so the digit that is in the hundredths place is the 4. That would be your answer. You would only need to write the number 4, because that is the digit in the hundredths place. Okay, now this next one goes, which is the digit in the thousandths place in this number? Now they're trying to throw you by putting a number that's in the thousands, but because it's not thousands, it's thousandths, we count back again. We go, there's our decimal point, we count back. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So the 9 is the digit in the thousandth place. If you get confused about this, look back to the place value chart and look for this side of the decimal place, and it's tenths, hundredths, thousandths, tens of thousandths. Okay, now we're given a fraction. We need to write it as a decimal number. Okay, and it's 602 over 1,000. So, we need to put it as a decimal place. We can count the zeros we have here. Oh, I've got that around the wrong way. But we have 1, 2, 3 zeros. So that means we need to jump 3 decimal places. So if we had an imaginary decimal point here, and we jumped 1, 2, 3, and place the decimal point right here, we will get the number 0.602, and that is 602 over 1,000 becomes a decimal number 0.602. Now, write this fraction given as a decimal number. Now, once again, we have 1, 2, 3 zeros on the end. So, we need to jump 3 spots. So we start here. We go 1, 2, 3, and there's a gap in between. So we have to write that number. We have to write 0.0. 0 goes in that gap, 1, 8. If there's ever a gap in between, you have to put the 0 because it's really important. You can put zeros on the end like that as much as you want because they mean no value. But when they're in between a decimal point and a number, it adds a value. So in this number, if we're looking at place value, we have decimal point, we have 0 tenths, we have 1 100th, and we have 8 thousandths in this number. Okay, you're going to get some worded problems like this as you go on this next part of essential assessment. And we're starting with the number 24.31. So there's 2 numbers in the tens column, 4 numbers in the units, 4 numbers in the units column, the value of 3 in the tenths column, and the value of 1 in the hundredths column. Now it's asked us to increase the number by 2 hundredths. So we look at this column because we know that's the tenths column, that's the hundredths. So we need to increase it, very important to increase, by 2. So if we need to increase the number 1 by 2, it becomes 3. So our new number will look like this. 24.33. Okay, now the next part asks us to, increase the number by 5 thousandths. Now, remembering that we have 2 in the tens column, 4 in the units column, decimal place, 3 in the tenths column, 3 in the hundredths column, we don't have anything in the thousandths. But really, there's a zeros go on for infinity this way. So if we had a 0 here, and we increase the number by 5, it just goes up to 5. And this is the number we end up with. So we're done now. We've increased our 0, which is in this column and this column that you don't see because you don't need to write it. We increased it by 5, and our number becomes 24.335. The questions will get harder and you'll get more steps that come into it. Okay, so now our first part is increase the number by 6 tenths. Okay, so we go into the tenths column and we have a 0 there. So we increase it by 6, it'll become 29.658. Now our next part is still increase the number by 4 hundredths. Okay, so our hundredths column, we note tens, units, tenths, hundredths, and we're still increasing by 4. 5 increased by 4, or 5 plus 4 equals 9. Our new number becomes 29.698. Okay, now our next task is to decrease the number by 7 thousandths. So we're going down now. We know that this is our thousandths column. I'm going to go down by 7. So 8 decreased by 7, or 8 take away 7, equals 1. So our new number is 29.691. Now our last step is decrease, so we're going down, the number by 11 ones. Okay, now ones column, or our units column's here. So it really becomes 29, take away 11, because we can't take 11 from our 9 in our ones column. So it becomes 29, take away 11, which will become 18. And so our final number, and the number we end up with, is 18.691. Okay, so in this task, it's really important to go step by step. Look if it's going to decrease or increase the number, and then identify which column it's in, whether it be the tenths, hundredths, thousandths, or in this case, we even went to the left-hand side of the decimal point and did our ones column. Finally, at the end of the essential assessment section, you'll be asked to put them in order from smallest to largest, or even in this case, it just asks which number is the smallest. So these two are in 0.708, 0.698. These two are in fraction form. So let's move our decimal points. We got 3 zeros, so we know that this number, if we jump our decimal point like we did earlier, will become 0.599. And you're more than welcome, you always should convert them if that helps you. And this number should be 0.712. Okay, now, to identify which number is the largest, we should always look at, or which number is the smallest, sorry, because that's what we're looking at now. You start with the tenths column. Which number has the smallest value in the tenths column? This one has a 7, this one has a 6. So at the moment, this is our smallest value. Then this one has a 5 in the tenths column. This one has a 7 in the tenths column. So our smallest value in the tenths column is a 5. So this number will be our smallest. Okay, now let's, for example, let's cross this out. Let's look for the largest column, the largest number. Okay, we've got point, and once again we look at our tenths column. Which what number has the largest value in here? This one's a 7, this one's a 6, this one's a 5, this one's a 7. So we've got two numbers that could possibly be the largest. So now we need to go into our hundredths column and look at the value. Which has the largest value? This one has a 0, this one has a 1. So over here, 0.712 has the largest value. If they both had a 1 in it, you go to the thousandths. And if they both had the same number, you go to the tens of thousandths following that. Okay, you keep working the other way. It's the opposite way from the decimal point than when we look at whole numbers. Okay, that's the last page or last example for my video. Hopefully this helps you guys. And good luck with place value, thousandths and beyond. And remember, go the mighty Tigers.